What is up, guys? So, some new photos were released for Crisis on Infinite Earths, this time for the second part, which is Batwoman Season 1, Episode 9, titled Crisis on Infinite Earths, Hour 2. In this episode, it seems like they're recruiting heroes from across the multiverse, including the Smallville Superman, the Kingdom Come Superman, and some sort of version of Batman. So, I'll break down these images one at a time for the ones that mean anything, for the ones that actually give something away, including, like I said, our first look at the Arrowverse's version of Batman. So let's just begin with the Batman stuff, specifically since not only is it the most interesting thing, I mean it's our first look at Batman, but also the episode is Batwoman. But anyway, there are two images seemingly from the same scene, involving Ruby Rose's Kate Kane as well as Kevin Conroy's Bruce Wayne. And in the first image we see Kate Kane probably in the Batcave under Wayne Manor with the Batsuit behind her, and this is something that we saw in the trailer. In the Batwoman-focused Crisis on Infinite Earths trailer, we saw Kate Kane going to Wayne Manor, or it seems like she was going to Wayne Manor, like it seemed like that's where she was going, and we also saw a couple shots of the Batman Batsuit as opposed to the Batwoman Batsuit. But anyway, it seemed like something I mentioned in that video is that maybe Kate's first mission and main mission in the Crisis is to go get Bruce Wayne, the Earth 1 version of Bruce Wayne, out of retirement, because he would be a huge help in the Crisis, as opposed to her because she's a beginner and she's not Batman. So I'm guessing that is going to be her main purpose in the beginning of the Crisis, and that's what we're seeing here in this first image. She goes to the Batcave under Wayne Manor, and she finds Bruce Wayne, and that's who we see in the second image, Bruce Wayne. So this image right here is our first look at Batman in the Arrowverse. It's crazy that he's actually appearing for the first time. I mean, not counting the silhouette we saw in Batwoman Episode 1, this is the first time he's being played by an actual actor, and it's not just any actor, it's Kevin Conroy, maybe the most famous Batman actor ever, as he voices Batman in the DC Animated Universe, the Batman Arkham games, and a whole other slew of things. He's definitely the most iconic Batman, at least voice, and this is the first time he's ever playing Bruce Wayne in live action, and it's just insane that after all these years of Bruce Wayne and Batman looming over the Arrowverse, going from just a reference to an actual named character to more of an actual character during Batwoman, over the course of especially recently Elseworlds and Batwoman, Batman has become more and more of a character. So now it seems like with the second episode of the Crisis, which is Batwoman's episode, which definitely fits, Bruce Wayne is officially appearing. But one thing that there is a question here: is this actually the Bruce Wayne of Earth 1, or maybe a different universe? Kevin Conroy's age would definitely suggest that he's not from Earth 1, as Bruce Wayne being over 60 years old just would not fit with the timeline, or at least it would make it a little bit, it wouldn't really make that much sense, all things considered. But also, from this image, there's a clear connection to a different universe, and that's the Kingdom Come universe, or the Superman Returns universe, the Brandon Routh universe, which this image definitely has a reference to. So looking at this image with an image of Bruce Wayne from the Kingdom Come comic book back to back or side to side, they look very similar, as Kevin Conroy's Bruce Wayne is wearing this brace, a brace that in the Kingdom Come universe was healing his body as it was broken. I think it was by Bane or something, but also the age of Bruce Wayne in that universe is definitely more in line with Kevin Conroy's age, as opposed to what Bruce Wayne typically is, which is a lot younger as Batman. Now, this does raise the question of, is this version of Batman from Earth 1, or is he from the Kingdom Come universe? I think, again, this picture is definitely a visual reference to the Kingdom Come universe, and the fact that there is a Kingdom Come universe in this crossover, I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it's very possible that Kate was sent to another universe, specifically to Brandon Routh's universe, which it seems like at least 3 other characters were sent to in this episode to retrieve the Bruce Wayne, to recruit the Bruce Wayne from that universe. And while, yes, the Batsuit we see behind Kate in this other image is exactly the same Batsuit we see in Earth 1, that's probably because they didn't want to make a new Batsuit, and it's very, very possible for Batman to have the same costume in a different universe. So I do think all things considered, this is most likely the Kingdom Come Bruce Wayne, which I definitely am glad about that, because I do think while Kevin Conroy is very good casting for an older version of Bruce Wayne, especially the Kingdom Kingdom Come version. He's not exactly a great casting for a prime-aged Bruce Wayne, and I definitely am glad about this because I think that this was great casting for the Bruce Wayne we're getting, and this also means that we can see a younger version of Bruce Wayne in the future who's from Earth 1, but I'm also really excited for the potential dynamic and back and forth between Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent of this universe, as in the Kingdom Come storyline, Superman and Batman are not exactly best friends at all, so I definitely am excited to see that dynamic in this crossover if they ever do get screen time together, and if this is indeed the Batman of the Kingdom Come universe. And speaking of the Kingdom Come universe, which from now on I'm gonna call the Earth SR for Earth Superman Returns, which is what I've been calling it in basically all the videos. But there are definitely a lot of images. In fact, most of the images that were released for this episode are from that universe. There are 3 distinct images of the Kingdom Come version of Superman, Brandon Routh, in his Kingdom Come outfit. And I gotta say, the more I see this costume, the more I like it. I definitely thought it was good in the first image, but I didn't like the red trunks. And while none of these images show the red trunks, everything that we see from these images look really, really cool. So I'm definitely going to like this costume a lot when we see it on screen. I definitely think it's better than the Tyler Hoechlin Superman costume, which at this point he definitely needs an upgrade for that suit. But we also see one image of Clark Kent in his Clark Kent getup at the Daily Planet, and behind him is this article, and his expression on his face just doesn't fit that article at all, as it's like, it's an article about a lot of death at the Daily Planet, but it is framed, which means it's from a while ago, and I'm guessing this is going to be significant for explaining why none of the characters from Superman Returns, except for Clark Kent, are appearing. Lois Lane, Perry White, Jimmy Olsen, and maybe even Clark's son, who in that universe, I think his name was Jason or something, none of them are appearing, and this maybe is explained by this gas attack at the Daily Planet. This could also explain why he's currently the editor-in-chief, and Perry White isn't anymore. This gas attack could have potentially killed all of those people. I'm sure Superman stopped it in the end, but not before it took the lives of probably Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, and Perry White, and maybe Superman's son if he was there at that point, which is maybe what pushed him to becoming the Kingdom Come version of Superman, which is typically a more ruthless and less good and more neutral version of the character. He's definitely not evil at all, but he is more neutral, and maybe this event, this gas attack at the Daily Planet, is what pushed him to becoming that character, and also what led him to becoming the editor-in-chief while Perry White died. But in other images, we see Tyler Hoechlin's Superman in the same room, and also in the same room, Lois Lane and Iris West, and this definitely shows that those are the 3 characters that are going to go to Earth SR to recruit Superman, and also probably Batwoman is going to Earth SR to recruit Batman. But one thing we see from one of these images is Lois Lane and Iris West holding this book that is the Book of Destiny, the Book of Destiny that we saw in the Elseworlds crossover. The Monitor gave this book to John Deegan, who used it to reshape reality. Originally, he wanted to make himself the Flash, but instead, there was a mistake that switched the lives of Oliver Queen and Barry Allen, and then after using it again, he changed it to make himself Superman. And I don't think it's a coincidence that it's back now, where there's 2 different Supermen in the room. But bringing back the Book of Destiny, I think, is pretty cool, because it is not only a very cool and interesting concept, the actual book, but it also brings back the continuity of Elseworlds, as they have this crazy powerful book, and there is definitely a reason for them to bring it back. It's possible that the reason it's back is because the Monitor went to Earth SR to test it a while back, and maybe they never got past that, or maybe that's why the Book of Destiny is on that universe at this point. But I do think that is all interesting. So then there's the Smallville universe, where it seems like, based off this first image, that the 3 characters sent to Earth SV, which is what I'm going to call it for Smallville, were Lois Lane, Clark Kent, are both from Earth 38, and Iris West. Now, Iris West being there is a little unusual, because, I mean, why is she there? I mean, it would make sense to send Clark Kent and Lois Lane, because they're going to recruit Clark Kent, and Lois Lane is going to be there as well. But for Iris West to be there, it's a little unusual, unless they're going directly before or after they go to Earth USSR, which is where these three characters were before, but we also see Tom Welling as Clark Kent on the Kent farm. Our first look at this version of this character in the Crisis, or at least first official look, and it's definitely really cool, but this might be the only scene we see of the character, as Tom Welling, the actor who actually plays him, said that he apparently only filmed a single scene for the Crisis, which means that in this scene where Clark, Lois, and Iris go to recruit the Smallville version of Clark, maybe something happens where he dies in that very scene, or his universe is destroyed where only the Earth-38's versions of Clark Kent and Lois Lane and also Iris West from Earth-1 survive and managed to escape. But it is definitely also possible that Tom Welling wasn't actually telling the truth there, or maybe it's misinformation and he did film more than one scene. I definitely hope he does, because I would definitely think that it would be cool for him to have a large role, and for there to be 3 Supermen, because in the original Crisis, the whole story very much focused on 3 different Supermen, and mainly focused on the Earth 1 and Earth 2 versions of Superman, but there was also Superboy Prime, who had a much smaller role than the other 2, but definitely had a pretty significant role. And while it seems like the Tom Welling version of Superman will more be the Superboy Prime version, meaning he's the 3rd Superman who has a smaller role, and also it's a version of Superman that we saw his origin story before he became Superman, so that definitely fits the 3 Supermen we're seeing, which means that he would eventually become a villain, which that part of it doesn't really fit. I don't see them ever doing that, but it is possible that because of that he's going to have a much smaller role. But I would definitely like to see all 3 Supermen team up together, all in costume, which is something that we've never really seen with Tom Welling, and at least not fully, but it would be really cool to see Tyler Hoechlin, Brandon Routh, and Tom Welling's Supermen all in costume standing together and being the 3 Supermen, being the 3 Superman's counterparts in the Crisis. So anyway, that is my breakdown for all of these images. As it turned out, there was actually more to talk about than I expected, as these images show quite a lot from the Superman Returns universe, the new Batman, and the Smallville universe, and also even the Book of Destiny. But let me know what your thoughts about all of these images are in the comments down below. And if you like this video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.